Hello and welcome back to another episode of Critical Reactions with your host Bryan. We're going to wrap up today with a special selection, which is where one of you tell me exactly what it is I need to check out. Today's special selection comes at us from Void Worlds, Chaos and Cats. It doesn't really tell me a lot, however, I love this album art. A cute little pixel cat with red god rays coming out of them or something, I don't know. Very sci-fi and odd. Comes from the band Pryapisme, maybe? This is from their 2013 album Hyperblast Super Collider, and I'm not going to try to pronounce the title. First of all, it's in French. Second of all, it's so ridiculously long. I don't know. Let's just dive into this. See what's going on with this. Okay, I wasn't expecting cats in the music, though. We've checked this group out before, haven't we? Oh, funky there. We're only a minute in and we've heard so much music. Switching from the little chiptune piano to a full piano, that was clever. Dude, that bass kick, golly. You guys. Oh, okay. So that was drill and bass, is that what it's called? The electronic subgenre? I'm still a bit rusty on those, but I think that's what it was. We had industrial earlier. Oh. Shifting to a 3. Everything's been 4/4 this whole time. I just realized this is wub. What is it, dubstep? Electronic metal bagpipes? What? And we got Hans Zimmer style brass. And blast beats. How is there still a minute left in there? Those cats. No, no. Oh, jeez.
Correct.
Is that the speak and spell? No, what was that? It was speak and spell, wasn't it? It's very rare for me to listen to a song as relatively short as this. I mean, 8.5 minutes. It's not. Depends on your context, right? To me, that's a short-ish track. We check out a lot of double-digit stuff on the channel, and we've checked out some. I mean, just last week we checked out a 40-minute choir concerto. So, 8 minutes it's a decent length for a song. It's longer than your mainstream stuff, but it's not super long in the grand scheme of things. For me to listen to a song this length, though, and honestly think I've listened to a full album and feel just as exhausted mentally of trying to keep up with so many different ideas. I mean, that's a thing in and of itself right there. I think that deserves some level of praise. There are too many points in this track when I looked at the time and I was like, dude, that's it? We've only 3 minutes in this. We're only 8 minutes, or we're only 7 minutes in this. Like, there's still time to go. I feel like I've heard so much freaking music. It's impressive. It really is. I don't know how to talk about this. I really don't. Uh, I don't know, man. There's all right. Let's get on this topic for a quick second. Listen to everything that is on here. We have jazz, we have rock, we have metal, we have classical, we have 3 or 4 different electronic subgenres that I can't name all of them, but I definitely heard timbral and compositional changes. If I stutter sometimes or just throw out some of those, I'm trying to find words. My brain can't work after listening to that. Geez. But yeah, there's so many styles in here. And it's not just that they exist. They're well done too. The electronic sections, I think, are the strongest, but I mean, those blast beats at the end with those goblin-esque voices, that's nothing to sneeze at either. That's a weird phrase. You ever think about that? Like, it means that it's well done. It required a lot of skill to do, but like, nothing to sneeze at? What does that mean? It's probably one of those weird southern things, made sense at one time, but does not anymore. Anyways, yeah, really impressive stuff. Every moment felt right. The rock stuff sounded rocky. The orchestral stuff sounded orchestral. Nothing in here felt like they were a bit outside of their depth as far as writing goes. But it's also the blending of everything. It wasn't just, hey, look, I can do this genre and this genre and this genre. It's also, hey, I understand how they all fit together. I see the larger puzzle at play here, and I know exactly how these pieces fit together. And I'm going to fit them together. And we get some wild sections. We had electronic, metal, bagpipe, string work. Who else is going to do that? Nobody. No one else would be wild enough to do this. The album's called HYPERBLAST Super Collider, and that's exactly what I felt listening to this track. It just threw a bunch of stuff together and made them, smashed them together and said, yep, that's music now. And then the listener's forced to hear all of it at the same time, which is like a hyperblast of sonic hyperblast. Yeah, the album, it works. If I just read that, I would have been very well prepared. Read and understood it. Sometimes the album is just a title. No, this one is a perfect description of the music. In fact, it's probably going to be the description of the video. HYPERBLAST Super Collider. And then the band and like an abbreviation of the title, and composer reacts and analyzes. I don't know, dude. Where do I go from here? What's even the next topic? I don't know. Comedy. I'm gonna bring this up. It's it's one of those things where the skill set is so strong that they understand they don't have to take themselves seriously. I don't think there's anything wrong with a group of musicians. I don't. Is this even a group or is this a solo project? We have two composers and two lyricists in the credits. Well, kind of. Uh, what? I'm gonna ignore that. Spotify has a really weird way of listing credits. I think there's three people who worked on this, but it doesn't have any instruments. So does that mean it's all electronic? Anyways, back on topic. I don't think there's anything wrong with being a master of your craft and leaning into that in the most serious way possible. I come from a world of classical, right? That's sort of like the whole gist of it is I'm the best of the best of the best. I could play, Bach on my violin. Listen to me play this seriously. I'm a serious musician. But I really enjoy this area of music where there is obviously no question how skilled these people are at writing music, and so they don't feel they have anything to prove and they go for fun. I don't think I've had a song make me laugh, guffaw in such a hearty manner, to get a little white for a second. Yeah, it's a hearty guffaw over there. In such a short amount of time, though. This was like 4 or 5 full belly laughs on this track. Just a really deep chuckle because it surprised me with wild inclusions. It went in directions I could never have expected and seem almost absurd having heard it and knowing where it went. It's just like there's a part of me that legitimately thinks no, I'm not hearing this correctly. This is obviously not what they did, because who in their right mind would go in this direction? Who would smash these things together? And they would. And yeah, it was fun and funny even at times. The random cat sounds, I think, are just the icing on the cake. I don't know what else to add to that. They're just they make fun music. Um, I'm gonna pause for a second, see if I can't collect some thoughts, or else this is just gonna be a bit more of a vapid exercise of me trying to grasp sonic things in my brain. Alright, so I cheated a little bit. I want to give it a second listen. And even after a second listen, I'm telling you, I don't have anything to really say about what it means, what it's doing, about any individual part. The second listen was just as much of a blur as the first. And that's when things started to click for me. I don't think this is supposed to be understood as a whole idea. It is formed together in a single track for sure, with a runtime of 8 minutes and 30 seconds. You're supposed to listen to this all at one time, but I can't find any through line between any of these ideas. The song's only consistency is its inconsistency, it's the chaos of it all. And through that lens, I started to come to the conclusion about this track in that its greatest strength is also its biggest weakness. I began to wonder if I could even listen to a whole album of this, if this is indeed the type of music that they create typically. And I don't think I could. I see this being a very niche project for a niche audience. I'm sure there's people out there who absolutely love the chaos of this and could stand a 54-minute album of it. Holy cow. But it isn't for me. because there just isn't a lot of cohesion, and the ideas move at a rapid pace. At one point in time, I was counting that we were changing ideas every 8 bars. I like some of these ideas, but if I'm being honest, I would have liked to seen them explored in a cohesive way to see where they would have taken it. Instead, they give us a snippet of something and move on to the next, very much like channel surfing. I might like individual scenes that I get to witness, but I don't get a cohesive story out of moving between 20 different programs on the television. So, and some of those programs might be commercials, which there are points in here when it feels like we flip to something totally inconsequential, almost absurd compared to everything else we've listened to, and then move away from it quickly too. Kind of like watching an ad between scripted scenes of different shows. And so it never quite comes together into anything other than a wacky, fun time experience, which is fine, honestly. Not all music needs to have, word purpose. It can just be fun and wacky. But between the lack of consistency in the track and any sort of overarching narrative component to it, and the massively overwhelming elements of the song just constantly being bombarded with 4 to 5 different styles and 30 different sections in such a short amount of time of these densely stacked style combinations, it is exhausting for me to listen to. And so I think as far as intention goes, the execution on this is phenomenal, and I gave a lot of praise for how they went about crafting this chaos. But again, like I said, I think that that's also going to be one of the things that pushes people away, turning this into something that has a very niche audience, but really works for that audience. But it's also very distinctly them. And of course there was black metal hidden in there. Of course there was. Why wouldn't there be? I'm gonna see if I can find some lyrics for just that last black metal section, right? That was the only lyrics in the track. Then we're gonna wrap this one up. And yeah, I couldn't find any lyrics. I even checked their Bandcamp page, hoping they might have something there, and nothing. So I guess I'll just end this by saying that they do a fantastic job at what they do, and they're very well versed in a multitude of styles and sounds, and the fact that they crafted all of this electronically too. There's a lot of instruments in here that sounded pretty natural, maybe a little bit of, a little hint of, yeah, that's probably digital, but still, it sounds close to real, which at one point I wondered, geez, how many people are in this band? How many multi-talented, multi-instrumental people are in this group? But seeing the Spotify credits, I think it's just 3 dudes who program everything. But still, their understanding of harmony, of styles, what makes rock and different from jazz or classical or anything like that, and really leaning into such a wide variety of musical knowledge is impressive. And then again, as I stated earlier, to combine all of that and find where the overlaps do exist in order to lean into it, it is an impressive track from start to finish, even if it's something that I don't think I'd want to experience again. But it is fantastic for reactions. I'm flabbergasted. I would love to hear other composer reactors check this out. Maybe see what Jeebs would say about it. Daily Doug. Yeah, it's just... I have no words, and that's pretty rare for me. So now I'm curious if other people have words about it. Those are my thoughts on this track from Pryapisme. Let me know what yours are. If there's anything that stands out to you, anything you'd like to add on to what I said or correct me on, maybe just give your own perspective and opinions on things, put all that stuff down in the description box. Above that, put it down in the comments section. Above that, in the description box, you'll find a link to Linktree. It takes you here. You can find links to my music, ways to support the channel, a link to the Discord server, and so much more. Above that, if you could, like, subscribe, and ring the bell. I greatly appreciate all three of those. Alright, that wraps it up for today. I'll be back tomorrow. We're going to finish up this week's theme and probably check out some new music. That's what we typically do on Fridays. Until next time, remember to be critical, not cynical, of the music you listen to, and have a fantastic morning, afternoon, or evening, whenever you choose to watch my videos.